going on, everyone? By now, it's no secret that Jae Crowder is on his way out from the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns want to trade him. Jae Crowder wants to be gone. Jae Crowder isn't even with the team. He didn't do training camp, and he isn't even playing for them as they try to find a trade partner. Now, the Suns haven't been successful in finding a trade partner because teams know. Like, at some point, they're going to have to let him go. They can't bring him back. So why would we trade for him when the Suns at some point are probably going to have to waive him, and we can just try to make a push to sign him, So, and him being a free agent after this season, I'm sure is a reservation for some teams. Like, does Jae Crowder really make this team better? Is he really an impact guy that we need? And what are we going to have to give up to go get a Jae Crowder, right? Because the Suns put a first-round pick on Jae Crowder, which is just not going to happen. I just don't see, unless it's just some, terrible first-round pick, some like late first, or just something along those lines. I don't see teams really lining up to give up a first-round pick for Jae Crowder just because they know, like, one, he's a flight risk. Two, you have to get rid of him at this point. So why would we, compromise our assets to go and get a guy that's not going to make a huge impact but is a solid rotation guy, solid 3-and-D guy? Well, we have a team like Atlanta that is currently, they're trying to go all in. They got a really nice squad. They've looked really good in Summer League. They've made some real moves, some real acquisitions, and have been really active this offseason, right? They went and got DeJounte Murray. They trade Herter. They've moved and, interchanged several pieces, stuff like that. Well, Atlanta is now being reported to be a team that wants to acquire Jae Crowder, get some of those veterans, because this is a very young team. So it would be nice to have some veterans that can come in, sort of be the vocal guys, be the grunt workers, which Jae Crowder would be able to be. Jae Crowder also would be able to play multiple positions. He could play the 3, he could play the 4 with his size, and just he's always guarded big, stuff like that. So he could be effective in multiple areas for a very young, talented Atlanta Hawks team. And Atlanta really, think they were in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 seasons ago, right? They believe that they can get back there and get to a finals. So they'll do what they have to if they believe it's really a guy that can be an impact guy for this team. And I don't know what they would have to give up for Jae Crowder. I imagine it's probably not a lot, because again, how many options are there out there? And, do the Phoenix Suns want to just lose him for nothing? So at this point, if you're Phoenix, you're just trying to get whatever you can. Get whatever assets are out there are available for you and just get a deal done already. You also don't want that hanging over your head. The Phoenix Suns already have more than enough issues going into this season. They just don't look like the Phoenix Suns that we are accustomed to. I really believe that they're going to regress tremendously. Now, I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs or anything, but I don't think they're going to be the number 1 seed in the West this season. I wouldn't be shocked if they're somewhere in the 4 to 6 range. I really wouldn't. I just think that it's going to be a rough year for them. And losing Jae Crowder, I do think is going to hurt, for a team that, could use that wing depth and stuff. Yeah, they want to move Cam Johnson up, but, Crowder, he wants to start, he wants to play. So that's the question too. Would he be okay going to Atlanta where he probably doesn't start? Right? I don't think he's going to start for Atlanta because you have basically your starting 5 already locked in. Jae Crowder's going to come off the bench. And Phoenix told Jae Crowder, look, you're probably not going to start and you're probably not going to close out games. And Jae Crowder wanted to be gone. So why would he want to then go to a team where he's not going to start and he's probably not going to close out games? It's kind of the same situation, unless he just really wants out of Phoenix. He really just wants to be done with Phoenix, which is a real possibility. There's been reports on some conflicts that they have had, things along those lines, and that also being a cause of him wanting out. So I think him going to a team might just be he just wants to get out of there. But Atlanta, is he going to cause problems? Is he going to cause headaches? Because this is a guy that has had issues with other teams in the past. The Cavs, one of the reasons the Cavs shipped him out was he was just not a locker room guy. He was a pain in the behind, and is he going to be that for an Atlanta team that is trying to make a push to get to an NBA Finals, that is trying to make a push to be really good in the Eastern Conference, when the Eastern Conference is really good now? It's not like what it used to be. Atlanta's got some competition for sure. And so they want to really make a move and make a push, but is Jae Crowder the right situation? Where I believe the Miami Heat, personally, is the best spot for Jae Crowder. He was really good with them. He understood, and he was one of their culture guys. He didn't have any issues, seemed to get along great with everybody. He was part of that team that went to the finals, and he likely starts and closes out games because they could use, some more wing guys, play the three, play the four, losing PJ Tucker, guys like that. He could kind of come in and be that replacement and kind of be that starting, maybe even starting four on a Miami Heat team. He's even said himself that he would welcome a return to Miami. That seems to be where he's kind of leveraging himself to go. So I do think Miami makes the most sense for Jae Crowder. But, I mean, look, Atlanta, if they could get Jae Crowder and he's willing to accept his role, buy in, kind of be that guy. I mean, he's not old. He's only, 32 years old. So he's still young enough to where he has several years under his belt. If you can get him for the right price and you're Atlanta, why not? Why not go get a Jae Crowder who could play multiple positions and guard multiple players and kind of be that physical grunt that you need? Be a guy that can come in and knock down shots. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he's serviceable, right? He could be a guy that can knock down some threes, play some defense, things like that on a team that is just, I just think that they're stacked with young talent. I mean, this team has a ton of potential. I don't personally think that Atlanta is a contender this year. It wouldn't shock me just because of how the East is in general this season, but I think that they need a couple years, if I'm being honest, at least in my opinion. I think that they're a couple years of just meshing, working it out, continuing to develop things like that. And I think Atlanta could be a team that could make some noise this season, but I think really it'll be a couple years. Because, I mean, just with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, John Collins, like their big three right there, I mean, is really good, really talented, really young, and they've looked great together. And then add in, Bogdan Bogdanovic and, DeAndre Hunter, Justin Holiday, Aaron Holiday, Clint Capella, guys like that could be some real impacts. They got a nice young guy in AJ Griffin who could develop to be a pretty good, solid guy for them. They got a lot of really good young talent, and to have a veteran presence like Jae Crowder could be very beneficial for this team, and could be very, very beneficial and help get some W's in the win column. Because the problem with just a pure young team is you don't have the experience and you don't have the guy that's kind of been through the trenches. And so you see it a lot with young teams. Like they end up getting into those series where, they play like a Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's been there. Milwaukee's won a championship. Milwaukee's gone through year in and year out of just trying to climb, stuff like that. And then you end up getting to that point, and it's like, all right, now, like, you just lose just solely on just making mistakes, and, the other team with the experience just not doing the same thing, right? This is the whole same reason why I said the Warriors would beat the Celtics, because they're a young team that hasn't been there. The Warriors, year in and year out, are in that conversation or on a run to there, and they're not going to make the mistakes. They're going to do what is necessary to keep the game in scope. Whether they're up 20 or down 20, they play the same way, night in and night out. Consistency is everything, not making those mistakes. And young teams tend to do that. But even the Celtics had guys like Al Horford and things like that, like veteran leaders that, had been in these situations and know how to help sort of navigate through those. Same thing with Memphis. Same reason why I thought the Warriors would beat Memphis. Atlanta kind of falls into that same path currently. You get a guy like Jae Crowder, I would like to see them maybe go get another vet that has some experience and some, just running through the trenches. And I really think Atlanta could start really making some noise for just the NBA in general. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of Jae Crowder potentially going to the Atlanta Hawks? Do you love the move? Do you hate the move? Is this something that you would do? Is this something that you wouldn't? Do you think Jae Crowder goes to Miami? Do you think that makes more sense? Like I said, my only concern with Jae Crowder is all the reports have basically said that the Suns told Jae Crowder he's not going to start and he's not going to close out games anymore. So that's why he wants out. Although there were reports that there was little locker room issues with him. So I do think it's like a combination of things. But if that's the situation where he wants out because he wants to start and close out games, Atlanta's probably not the place for that. Because Atlanta's probably going to have, Hunter and, Murray and Trae and Clint and Collins. So like there's basically your starting five right there. And that's probably the five that they're going to close games out with. Maybe Crowder closes games out here and there, things like that. But I think in general, very likely Jae Crowder is not going to be a guy that's going to close out many games and is not going to be the guy that is going to start. So is there conflict? Is there going to be issues there? It's a real question, real problem. But anyway, again, however you feel about it, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below if you would acquire Jae Crowder for Atlanta or not. Quick little shameless plug, go subscribe to my second channel, link down in the description below. As it stands, Lakers, I am a diehard Laker fan. I love talking Lakers. I could talk Lakers all day, just like I could talk about all sports all day. And I'm sure many of you watching to this point enjoy my commentary, enjoy these discussions. So go check out the Lakers channel. Even if you're not a Laker fan and you just like hearing me talk about stuff in basketball, go over there and subscribe. I'll link down in the description below. I promise you won't be disappointed. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.